will be joined via Zoom by some Filipinos in the U.S. to share what they think about Trump 2.0. Let's welcome to the show Katrina Arcellana, Michelle Amor, Louie Anquillo, Ralph Garay, and Gerald Poblete.
All right, so of course we're going to talk to them in just a bit, but again, a lot of our kababayans over in the States, obviously very much affected by President Trump coming in. Of course, kahit dito sa Pilipinas, apektado tayo.
Yep.
But of course, we want to see how they feel and of course, how they feel they would be affected by the second Trump administration.
Right.
So first off, let's get started actually here because we have a lot to go through and not a lot of time to go through it. Mo, you were able to talk to a few of them a while ago?
Yeah, so I think we're going to start with Gerald. So Gerald, can you tell us, what are your sentiments? How are you feeling as President Donald Trump is back in the White House?
Well, hello, Mo. Thank you for having me. I can tell you that I personally, on the night of his election, I was shocked. I had no expectation he would win. I was relieved that he did win and that the former administration could not continue. I'm excited that he's back and that he can right the ship. And I'm just hopeful that he's going to do it in a more diplomatic way, in a more measured way. And I think we've seen him already starting to do that. I think it's going to be a very different presidency, but again, hopefully a very effective presidency.
And how do you think you'll be affected as a Filipino American with Trump being back in office?
I mean, I'm an American. Whether I'm a Filipino American, an African American, we're Americans. He is America first. So it's a positive thing for me.
Yeah,
He has a tremendous track record for his domestic policy, the best foreign policy president we've had, and I can't even remember. And I'm very hopeful. You have to make a distinction. There was some comments earlier about how the Filipino immigrants might have an issue with his sweeping immigration reform. Let's make the distinction between immigrants like myself, legal immigrants, and the illegal immigrants who've been allowed to flood across our border because of the past administration. Trump has no issue with legal immigration. His wife is a legal immigrant. All of his wives, I think, or at least most of them have been, right? So there's a distinction there to be made.
Yeah, you know,
Okay,
sorry I had to cut you off there because we have to get to everyone here. Katrina, obviously it was mentioned a while ago, trying to be a more diplomatic here in the second presidency. Obviously, we all know what happened in that first presidency, wherein there was a bit of a divide between the two support groups, of whether you be left-leaning or right-leaning. Katrina, how do you feel about the idea of a more diplomatic second term here for President Trump?
I think that personally it would be very difficult to have a very neutral and diplomatic presidency, as Trump has expressed his opinions in very extreme ways towards very hostile takes on many different minority demographics in the U.S. Personally, I think I feel like discouraged with this new administration and a little fearful, actually, because I really saw representation for myself in Harris, and I had some hope for seeing a woman of color who is South Asian and Black to lead our country and be a very peaceful and trying to be diplomatic voice in politics. I know that when people were talking to Harris about if she would have a Republican on her cabinet, that's something that she was open to, and I just don't see that side of kind of same openness and humility in the Trump administration. So I think that's going to be a little bit difficult in this next administration and something that personally I am very fearful of.
Thank you, Katrina. I'd like to hear Ralph's thoughts, his sentiments. How do you think that you will be affected by Trump's presidency?
Thank you so much, Mo, for having me. And in the last 4 years, I felt like I was really burdened with inflation. And me and my wife love shopping at Walmart. But, you know, we just felt like the prices in Walmart, that's Walmart, right? That's Walmart. And it's so hard and very difficult. And also, I love eating in restaurants to try different food. And now we are forced to start eating out, and because the price just went up. And also, I'm saddened with the crime in San Francisco, in New York. I got friends who got robbed in San Francisco, and I love these cities. But I can't believe I'm telling myself and also other friends, don't go to San Francisco, don't go to New York. And I can't believe that I'm telling that to myself. But this is historic. And I'm glad to be part of it, that President Trump is back and to see it, to experience it. And I'm optimistic that he learned so much in his first 4 years, and then the last 4 years, try processing a lot of things. So I'm just optimistic, and there's a momentum here. Finally, I feel like we have a strong, respected leader.
That's interesting there. Michelle, I want to get your thoughts on this because obviously some of the issues brought about by the two gentlemen a while ago were a bit practical with regard to the prices when it comes to food, to spending, even safety in some areas. Of course, contrast that with what Katrina said, talking about being fearful because of the lack of representation and potential lack of bipartisanship. You take a look at all of that, Michelle. What are your biggest issues that you feel that President Donald Trump could either address or exacerbate in the upcoming administration?
Hi, yeah, thank you so much for having me. My name is Michelle. I'm the vice president of the Filipino American Democratic Club of New York, and I was the communications chair for Filipino Americans for Harris. And we saw how harmful Trump's rhetoric was the first time around. We really saw how his racist comments during COVID-19 really impacted us, and we saw a huge rise in anti-Asian hate crimes. And many Filipino Americans felt the impact, especially here in New York, where so many Filipino healthcare workers are at the front line. So, I am cautious to see, since we saw what it was like the first time around, and divisive leadership from the top, actually puts lives at risk. So, Filipino Americans contribute so much to this country, and we deserve leadership that encourages us to participate in our democracy and makes us feel welcome and not targeted. So, I hope to see that this administration is going to focus more on actually coalition building and not dividing us. And we just have to see and try to keep them accountable.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for your answer. Now moving on to the last one. Louie, you heard everybody speak. What are your thoughts, expectations with the new administration coming in?
Hi, thank you for welcoming me. My name is Louie Anquillo. I'm a physician here, and with what's going on, the only thing that really concerns me as much as everybody else is that health. We've gone through COVID, wherein he was the president, but at the same time, we've gone through a lot. And it has been divisive as well as to if we're going to be looking into other treatment plans or not. So for me, my main concern is believe and look into the science and what is evidence-based when we are treating epidemic and everything like that. And we are seeing something that's coming up, and I hope we are ready. Healthcare, and we Filipinos have been in all areas of healthcare, and we are frontline right now. I'm in urgent care, I'm in the ER, and we are varied in terms of how we treat patients at the moment, but we supposed to be following what could be the science related and evidence based that we looked into. So for my perspective, we're ready. I mean, Filipino Americans are resilient, but we like to make sure that we are having some how do you say this? Courage to be in that area for which it is the science that we're banking on treating patients. So I'm in the healthcare profession, and I like to make sure that whoever's leading the country for healthcare right now is going to be science-based. That's the only thing I'm worried about, because you can have America is a melting pot for all the information that you can get. We have everything from Google to wherever, but coming to the bottom line of this, we as healthcare are the professionals.
Louie,
I think we should be looking into it.
We really appreciate you for
Yeah,
that.
no,
And of
thank you.
course, we wish we had more time with all of you. We apologize for technical
That's all right.
difficulties having you on a while ago. Hopefully we get to talk to you again really soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us this
Thank you.
morning. Katrina, Michelle, Louie, Ralph, and Gerald, we really appreciate you guys coming on the show.